I said, hey Moss, hey Mr. MMA host, can you tell me, because I can't remember, who is the all-time significant strike leader ever of all time in the UFC? Do you remember? And he said, and then it's Max Holloway. And I said, oh, okay, good. And for that reason, I choose Charles Oliveira. Well, I guess Max Holloway was right. We really did find out Saturday night, and you've heard it before, that the champ has a name. The BMF champ has a name. The BMF, B for bridesmaids. I've been saying this for the longest. Don't think I'm under any type of delusion. It is a runner-up type of title. It is a participation ribbon type of title. And by the way, I always thought it was weird when Oliveira would say the champ has a name, because I would think, hey fool, I don't know how things work in Brazil, but no matter who wins, whatever champ will have a name, right? Like, even if you lost, the champ, like, I don't know if you guys saw it a long time ago, I made a video when Oliveira fought Makhachev, and I predicted, it was no feat, but I predicted that Makhachev would win. And then after the fact, I said, hey, the champ does have a name, except that it's Makhachev. So I've never understood the champ has a name. Of course they have a name. And then the losers have names too. Like, people don't gain and lose their name. Like Max Holloway, I still know that's his name, even though he lost. I never got the whole champ has a name rhetoric, but I use the term loosely. I'm not confused about this. I understand that it's a different, like, we compartmentalize these things, right? It's the BMF as in bridesmaid, or BMF. I know when it was Max Holloway, it was like the blessed MF, and now it's the Brazilian MF. But if we're gonna be honest with ourselves, these dudes are basically, and I've been saying this for years, and this was always gonna be the case, in the Khabib Nurmagomedov era, that these dudes are bridesmaids. Whether we're talking about Justin Poirier, Dustin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, I was saying these dudes are always gonna be runners up. Now, I did say, by the way, in case you guys forgot, I did say when Khabib left that Charles Oliveira was going to be next. And that was back when everyone thought he was a journeyman, when they thought Gaethje was going to be next, Poirier was going to be next, the Mexican Nostradamus. But that's not what this video is about. It is time that we are going from the blessed era to the stressed era. And I don't know how anybody had him as... I don't know how anybody had Charles Oliveira as the underdog. Frankly, it's not only disrespectful, it's lazy. And it just shows that people didn't put chanclas on the ground and do any type of research whatsoever. I talk about it ad nauseum. In my part of the MMA corner in the Mexican martial arts verse, I don't do MMA math. I conduct MMA long division. And I think people were just confused because of maybe a likability factor. I said it because people get the wrong idea. They think that I'm a Charles Oliveira fanboy and a Max Holloway hater. And I said it. I've said it all throughout my prediction, all throughout the last several days. I think Max Holloway is a more likable dude. I like him more. I'm just an MMA truther. So even if I like one dude more, I got to say what's objective. I got to tell it like it is. #Aaron Neville. That's how I'm going to give it to you straight. And I was a big, after Khabib Nurmagomedov was gone, Charles Oliveira was my favorite active fighter. And then he got all Gucci'd out. He went down a bad path. And did you see how he came into the venue today? He was all bedazzled. I couldn't even stare directly at him. It was like the sun. I couldn't even look at him. Max Holloway came in wearing a hoodie. And Charles Oliveira looked like the final scene in Enter the Dragon with all the shiny mirrors. It's like you can't even, it's like disorienting. You can't even look at him. That may have been a tactic. Well, actually not, because he didn't wear it in the fight. But still, it fits my narrative. And I know I said that I like Max more than Oliveira, but and it's not the case for me, but I think for most people, because even though they're both fan favorites and people like both of them, I think people tend to like Max more. And I think a lot of it has to do with language. Oliveira maintains this weird, mysterious, stoic kind of like, hey, I'm not going to acclimate whatsoever or pretend or play the game. I don't know your language. I don't want to know your language. I don't care. I'm separated. There's, we're a world apart. There's kind of a communication breakdown, and Max Holloway kind of guy on you. We're going like he's real cool, man. He just seems like your crazy friend from down the street. Hey man, what's up? What you got gonna be doing this weekend? I'm gonna be playing video games. I think he just has kind of that weird like ooh kind of thing about him that makes him feel approachable and likable. You could relate to him and he feels familiar. Charles Oliveira, there's always gonna be that gap because like we don't know what that dude's thinking. But you can't make your pick like that. I saw so many people when they would cut to the audience and they're having their stickers and their signs, oh Max, and the whole time I couldn't help but think none of these people did their due diligence. None of these people went and studied the tape. None of these people went in and could give like scientific answers for why they're feeling the way that they're feeling. It's just like a social media kind of thing. Maybe they watch Max Holloway's YouTube channel. Maybe they game with him on Twitch. Maybe they like the funny stuff he says about, with DC about being the baddest man on the planet and stuff like that. But you can't base your pick on that. Now, I was tempted to superimpose a video in this video and show you guys footage of when I collabed with Moss from the MMA Holes and gave my prediction. And if you like that collab, stay tuned because we're going to be doing more. However, that's not what this is about right now. I went on there and I gave a prediction and I was going to play it on here, but I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that. If they want to see it, if they want the receipts, if they want to make sure that I actually predicted that, they could go check on my videos tab and watch the video. And now that I just said all of that, I just realized in this moment that it was kind of pointless that I said that because I'm gonna say all the same things. I'm gonna regurgitate the prediction information right here now in this video, so you don't even have to watch that video unless you just want to make sure that I'm not lying and I actually did make that prediction back in the day. Anyway, I said, and it's very simple. It's very simple. I said, hey Moss, hey Mr. MMA Holes, can you tell me, because I can't remember, who is the all-time significant strike leader ever of all time in the UFC? Do you remember? And he said, and then it's Max Holloway. And I said, oh, okay, good. And for that reason, I choose Charles Oliveira. And my reason was, okay, cool. So he has a bunch of strikes. Cool, like Angela Hill, like Sean Strickland, like Kobe Covington, like Nate Diaz. Yeah. War of attrition type stuff. Yeah. Real cute. Well, the way I look at it, when people have too many significant strikes, that tells me, they don't punch hard enough. They don't end fights fast enough. That's like giving somebody a record in the UFC for having the best chin. That's like giving someone a record in the UFC for being able to take a beating the best. It's a backhanded compliment. You don't want to be the significant strikes leader. That means you're in there, just like it happened in round one, and then Charles Oliveira with that electricity. That's all I needed to hear. Oh, he's a significant strikes leader? Nah, it's not going to look good for him then, because here's what he's doing. He's taking all those cute little combos, all those tap it in, just tap it in, all the little pitter patter. And who is he trying to put that up against? The Brazilian, say it with me, zombie. He's putting that up against the Brazilian zombie. That's the worst combo. You don't want to play patty cake on a Brazilian zombie's face. You can mix it up all you want, make it look cute, make it look nice, make a little training tutorial of it, put it on TikTok. But when you're trying to put that up against a Brazilian zombie, it's gonna be a long night for you. And we know he's a boxer. I'm the best boxer in the UFC. The best boxer, right? Okay, so we already know how he's gonna be trying to fight with that rhythm and that type of stance. And that is gonna get nullified. That's gonna get canceled out when Charles Oliveira comes out with leg kicks. And I said that. I said he's gonna come out with leg kicks. I said he's gonna have a game plan, not identical, not like Oliveira's gonna try to copy him, but just by default, by the way he fights, he's going to have a game plan similar to Volkanovski's. He's going to come out and he's going to cancel out that kind of boxing rhythm and stance with the leg kicks. And that's the first thing that he did. I said that he's going to be more dangerous than Max if they're in the clinch, because he's going to have them with knees and elbows. And if Max is smart enough to stay out of the clinch and away from those knees and elbows, Oliveira has enough spark and electricity in those hands that even though Max is going to be treating Oliveira's face like a speed bag, all Oliveira has to do is land, and that dude's going to feel it. And that's what happened. And he put him on the cage. Like I said, he's going to put him on the cage. He's going to take him down, and he took him down. Oliveira literally did exactly what I said he was going to do. The only thing that didn't happen exactly the way that I said is Oliveira didn't choke him out, which is fine. I may be a grandmaster, But I'm just a man. I'm just human. I'm not infallible. And you know what? Don't forget, I like Max Holloway. For me, this was like when Stipe Muchacho went up against Daniel Comer. It's like, I don't want anybody to lose. It's one of those. So, it's good. I didn't need to see Max humiliated in front of his friends and family and loved ones. It's fine the way that it ended. I was so disturbingly right about everything else. I could live with that. I said it during the week. I don't know if Max was trying to trick anybody, because obviously, I think it's weird when people ask, what's the game plan? Like, any smart dude is not going to tell you the actual game plan. Now, people like Khabib Nurmagomedov could tell you exactly what they're going to do, and you still can't stop them. But, like, aside from that, people should not tell you. Now, Max Holloway was like, I'll choke him out. I'll show him, he could try to knock me out, and I'll try to choke him out. And that could have been a tactic. He could have meant it and then just had a rude awakening in the cage. I'm not sure, but here's what a lot of people are saying. First of all, I wonder if they would have called it boring if Max would have been the one dominating on the ground, going for the submissions, because Oliveira was the one in control going for the submissions, and everyone was calling him a blanket. Everyone was saying that it was lazy, and for the BMF, they're saying, how about boring MF? Like, they're saying all that kind of stuff where it's like, okay, but remember, Max was saying that he was going to choke him out, and I had people in my chat saying, yeah, Max is going to choke him out, and they were rooting for that. Would you have called him boring if he was the one initiating, taking it to the ground, staying on the ground, going for the submission? Because they're doing it because their guy lost. So I don't know if they're being hypocrites. I'm not trying to accuse them of anything. I'm just, if the chancla fits. But here's the way that I look at it. If there's a dude, and it's the same thing I say with Khamzat Chimaev. When people are all mad when he beat Dudu Plessis and they say, oh, he just laid on him or whatever. Here is the same thing I always say. We're talking about world-class professional fighters at the highest level, the highest stage, right? Why can't that dude break out of a hug? If it's just a blanket, why can't he take off the blanket, right? So that's the way I look at it. If that's how pathetic and lame it is, how pathetic and lame is it that the dude can't offset that he can't cancel that out, that he can't override that? That's got to be more pathetic. You can't take a blanket off? And especially, like, they're emphasizing it even more because it was for the BMF title. So, yeah, I'll emphasize it even more. A BMFer can't remove a blanket? Hey, when you wake up tomorrow morning, if you can't take off your blanket, I pray for you. I don't know what to say. Here's the potential trajectory. Oliveira just won the bridesmaids title, right? So I said this quite a while ago. And ever since then, yeah, maybe other people are saying it, but I said it a long time ago, that I wouldn't be surprised, and that what most likely is going to happen next is they're going to give the winner of the BMF title to Arman Tsarukyan. They're going to continue to do that guy dirty. And there's a world in which Oliveira beats him. I'm a Tsarukyan fan. I like that guy a lot. I might like him more than Charles Oliveira these days. But there's a chance, there's a world in which Oliveira could beat him. And maybe there's some, like, delusional people, maybe there's some fanboys, I don't know, but there's some people that thought that Oliveira could have won or should have won or did won, who knows. But there's a world in which he could be, and I'm just trying to set this up for something. There's a world in which he could be Tsarukyan, right? And he beats Gaethje. So there is a chance that Oliveira gets back up to the top, because you already know Ilya beats, it's the White House card, man. It's a dud, bro. It's pathetic. They lied to us. It's going to have like 12 title fights, bro. Even when Joe Rogan was talking about it with Dana White to his face, he's like, okay, yeah, so we got the 2 main fights, and then we got all the others. And even the 2, man, I think, you know how they said one of the fights dropped out like last night? It had to be John Jones. He had to flake again. There's no way anybody at the top thought it would be a good idea to push Gain. Nobody likes that dude anymore. Even his funky, zesty looking coach that's always rubbing the small of his back, I don't even think that dude likes him anymore. But anyway, what I was trying to get to is it's like a shame, because it's a formality. It's a foregone conclusion. Gaethje and Tapoeira, it's like, okay, what's the next fight? Because we already know how. Wait, the next fight's Gain? And Pereira, what's the next fight? Anyway, I think it's a foregone conclusion, Gaethje and Tapoeira, right? And if Tapoeira wins, he's hopscotching to welterweight. So then what does that leave up at the top? That's going to be Oliveira again, right? And Oliveira's going to do for that division the same thing that happened with Volkanovski. Tapoeira did his thing. He moved up. Volkanovski reclaimed. Tapoeira did his thing. He moves up. Oliveira reclaims. And then now, dang, man. Poor dude. I'm telling you, stressed era. Max Holloway is now in the same situation in the lightweight division with Oliveira. I mean, this could not be more decisive. It could not be more definitive. This happens 100 times out of 100 times. Max is now in a division again where he's not going to beat Oliveira, but he could beat everybody else. Again, this is going to be with Tapoeira gone. But again, now we're talking about something different. It's even worse for him now because, I mean, Holloway and Saruki, and I mean, but they're going to have a dude at the top that they can't beat, and they're going to be a bridesmaid forever. Oliveira is to, the lightweight division, where Volkanovski is to the featherweight division. Max has nowhere to go. He's going to have to go try to fight Peter Yan at this point. I had somebody in my chat, somebody that's a very loyal, faithful, beloved member of the Mexican martial arts community during the fight, and he made a joke. He made a joke that I was very frustrated that I didn't think of myself. And I said, you know what? I got to steal that. I got to use that joke, but I'm not going to be like Tony Ferguson. I'm going to give you credit for it. Billy the Kidder. He made a joke that, it's kind of messed up because now they're going to start calling Max. They're going to start calling Max Holloway Min. They're going to start calling Max Holloway Min Holloway. The fool went from the blessed era to the stressed era, and from Max Holloway to Min Holloway in one fell swoop. That's gacho, Nacho.